Hey, so I'm back for the next round. Is this the fifth die roll in a row that I've won? It might be. This hand is really close, given that I only have 19 lands in my deck. I think it's probably a mulligan, but I kind of want to try keeping just to see if this is a realistic hand to keep. Because I've got two early threats. If my opponent doesn't play anything on turn one, these Delvers could do a lot of damage, especially if he's like a slower deck. And then, or if he doesn't have a turn one removal spell. And then these lightning bolts kind of complement the Delvers pretty well, and then further buy me time to draw into good spells, or to draw into lands, or to draw into cantrips. Either of which would turn my Snapcaster on. I think I'm going to keep this. Yeah, I think if I were like playing for like really high stakes or something, like if I absolutely needed to win this match for some reason, then I would mulligan it. But I think given that this doesn't matter at all, I'm just gonna keep it and see whether this is something I can get away with. So my opponent's playing Burn, so medium regret my decision, but obviously drew a land, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm on my turn. So now that I've drawn a land off of Goblin Guide, obviously this hand is great. So I'm just gonna fetch an island, play another Delver Secrets, and deploy it, and then Lightning Bolt when he attacks me again with his Goblin Guide. This is actually a really good hand against Burn. This is probably one of the best hands in my deck against Burn. So now that I've drawn the additional land, so yeah, I guess my keep worked out well. All right, so 2 Goblin Guides. It's a good start for him. Alright, so I'm just gonna bolt the Goblin Guide here, and then F6. So my Delvers are flipping next turn, which is a pretty fast clock. Okay, so he's bolting a Delver, which is understandable. Yeah, so this Delver's flipping, puts him on a pretty solid clock. And then I've got another Lightning Bolt for his other Goblin Guide. And now I've got a bit of room. I'm at 12 life, he's got 4 cards in hand, so not incredible for me, but not terrible. Alright, that's pretty atrocious. I don't love my spot, but I'm still not unhappy about it. So yeah, so just Lightning Bolting here. Next turn he's going to go to 11, so I have a choice between... Okay, I guess I don't really have a choice anymore. I'm just going to Snapcaster Bolt that. And now I've used 2 cards, I'm at 9 life. I'm not in like the greatest shape in the world, but assuming he doesn't draw anything too good in the next couple of turn cycles, because he's on a 2-turn clock, right? Like, he has to draw something. I mean, I'm probably dead. I mean, let's not delude ourselves, but if he has just Eidolon of the Great Revel, that's actually great for me. Yeah, so I'm attacking with both things here for sure. And he probably has to block, right? Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, so I'm going to 6 and he has 1 card in hand, so I'm just going to play Tassiger. Dealing away everything except Lightning Bolt. I think I'm also just going to play Young Pyromancer. And then he has to deal... No, okay, so I'm going to 6. He has 1 card in hand, and he has a turn to top deck a burn spell. I think that's the best I can do. If I could have put him to 7, then he puts him to 5, and then I have Snapcaster Bolt if he... Maybe attacking with the Snapcaster was bad. Maybe maybe it was much better to just let him cast the Rift Bolt, go to 5 life, and then let him cast the Rift Bolt and go to 5 life, and then I have Snapcaster Bolt if he ever plays another burn spell. So like to sort of like take advantage of his own Eidolon. But yeah, given that I drew a creature, this is obviously I obviously just win. Yeah, so electrolyze you. I guess I just Snapcaster Bolt here. Like maybe I don't want to show him electrolyze, even if I'm gonna board it out. I guess I do show him electrolyze, given that I'm almost certainly boarding them out. So I don't know. This isn't really a decision. But I just kind of just like thinking about things that I can think about. If that makes sense. I think it's slightly better to show him electrolyze because maybe if he has 2 Grim Lavamancers, he doesn't play one. Now that he's sure I'm playing electrolyze, even though I certainly don't have the card in my deck anymore. Don't want electrolyze or Thoughtseize for sure. I definitely want the Dragon's Claws. I definitely want the Dispels. I'm not sure how I feel about the 2-mana counterspells, just because like the fact that they exchange for his cards is good. I don't have a lot of cards that do that actually interact with him in a meaningful way, but they do it in a way that's like so clunky and ineffective. I think I take out Terminates. I think they're just a bit too narrow, which is like worse than my alternatives. I'm also not sure about whether I want Batterskull. I definitely take out a Gitaxian Probe. I can conceivably take out some Delver of Secrets, but I think they're pretty good. I think I want 1 Kolaghan's Commands, just because I feel like deal 2 damage, target player discards a card is actually a pretty good mode to have access to 1 copy of. It's better than Electrolyze, and it's better than Terminate, I think. Oh, I know. I should have Terminates over Murderous Cuts because they're red cards for Dragon's Claw. I could also just cut the Young Pyromancers. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, just because they're a bit slow, and he kills them if they matter. And I'm just gonna have a negate. I think this is gonna be my configuration, because the thing is, if I can buy myself enough room to play the Batterskull for 1 turn, like it means that the game is over on turn 5, which means that if I've like played a defensive game early on, like I have a 5-mana card that just immediately closes the window rather than just having to attack like 8 times with the Delver of Secrets. Yeah, so this hand is pretty good. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm probably going to end up bolting on turn 1 if he's fetching here. Yeah, Goblin Guide. So now that I know he's playing white, it's kind of medium awkward, because he could Boros Charm his Goblin Guide, but I think the fact that like the full Goblin Guide trigger I think is too valuable, and also just the option of spell snaring Eidolon with the Great Revel if he does play one. So yeah, so I'm probably gonna get Boros Charmed here, which is not great for me, but I think it's fine. There's an argument just playing the Delvers. No, I didn't know I was drawing the Dispel, so I don't think I think my hands were kind of tied there. So now I think I just play a Serum Visions, just because Delver of Secrets is too weak, and next turn I'm gonna get this. It's unlikely the Snapcaster gets to block anyway, and next turn I'm gonna be able to Snapcaster Bolt. Given that I drew the Dragon's Claw, hopefully I just draw lands. I guess I shouldn't have auto-yielded. Let him know I didn't have Lightning Bolt, but alright, so that's bad. So right now I basically just am hoping to draw an additional lands. Okay, so this game's going overall just very badly for me. Not even sure what I'm supposed to do here. I think I'm just gonna try to play Snapcaster and try to block. I think that's my only real line at this point. My top card's blank. Alright, so yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just like 110% dead here. But I guess we'll see. I'm probably gonna get Searing Blazed here even. No, just Lightning Bolt. Okay, so now I'm at 2 life and he has an Eidolon in play and I'm drawing Negate. Alright, so I'm dead. I guess I should have waited for him to show me the Lava Spike that was in his hand, but I'm not super fussed about it. Yeah, so now we've got one more game and we're on the play this time. Kind of like Murderous Cut in that it kills the Eidolon for 1 mana. It kills the Eidolon for 1 mana without even dealing me damage. At some point I concluded that I wanted to terminate some more in this matchup just because they're red cards and trigger Dragon's Claw, but I think that might actually be wrong. It's also possible I just want to cut more Jataxian Probes and just have more removal. Which I think the Jataxian Probes are okay. Just being able to see his hand and like sculpt my game plan around what he has, I think is pretty valuable in this matchup. So this hand is pretty good. I'm going to lead with Creeping Tar Pit and then have Lightning Bolts available on my next turn. Yeah, I don't know. If this is a Swift Sphere, I'll wait. Okay. Yeah, again, if he blows me out with Boros Charm, he blows me out with Boros Charm. Like I'm mostly okay with that. I think, yeah, I'm actually gonna just cast Serum Visions here and try to put a land on top of my library. I won't have a land. But I think both of these two cards I just have to keep. They're both too good. I think I want to draw the Dragon's Claw first. I think it's the card I want to play next turn. So yeah, so I'm gonna bolt his Goblin Guide before the trigger resolves, so he doesn't know that I have access to. So he's probably gonna play an Eidolon here. Core Firewalker. Okay, well that's also good enough just to get me to kill this. Interesting card. Okay, yeah, so I'm just gonna use this probe and then play the Dragon's Claw. So his hand is Bolt, Spike, Helix, Spear, Swift Spear, and then Mountain. Yeah, so I'm just gonna play Dragon's Claw here. Yeah, I'll probably actually end up taking a decent amount of damage from this, but it does mean he's gonna have to use a removal spell on my Snapcaster Mage, which is fine. Alright, so I'm just gonna Snap Bolt this main phase, just so he can't save it, right? His hand is Bolt, Lava Spike. Did he play a Mountain last turn? Okay, he did play Mountain. So he has Mountain, Swift Spear, Bolt, Helix, Lava Spike. So it's unlikely he's going to be able to... So he would have had to draw 1 mana instant speed burn spell to save his Monastery Swift Spear. So I'm just going to, yeah, Snap Bolt it here. So I'm just going to Snap Bolt it here just to make sure it dies. And then he's going to have to use a removal spell on my Snapcaster, which is fine. And then... yeah, so then I'm going to need to draw something that does something. Yeah, so then I'm going to draw something that does something, and hopefully I do. Alright, always yes, always yields. I guess this is another reason to have Murderous Cut in my deck, but I'm not, like, exceedingly concerned with that card. I might try to block it with Creeping Tar Pit soon. Alright, so I think my plan here is to Kolaghan's Command my Snapcaster back, make him discard a card if he doesn't play a creature, and then just have Mana Leak available. I don't think playing the Delver this turn does enough. Yeah. It doesn't do enough that I want to... I'm overly concerned about that. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so target player discards a card, return target creature from my graveyard to my hands. And if nothing out of the ordinary happens here, I'm just going to get a Steam Vents with my Bloodstained Mire. Discard a Lightning Bolt. Very fine. There's an argument to keeping this around just to make my Delver of Secrets a little bit better, but I don't think that that's as relevant as just having access to the additional red mana. Yeah, so this is kind of like a little bit of what I was talking about, just because, yeah, like, I'm with the Batter Skull, just because I'm not going to be able to win this game anytime quickly, so it's nice to just have a card that just closes out the game really hard, kind of independent of that. So another Snapcaster Mage is obviously good. I don't think I need another Bolt this game, so yeah. It's kind of awkward that I'm like, I could have stacked my deck in such a way that my Delver flipped and I chose not to, but I don't think that's nearly as important as just having access to good spells. So I'm basically, I think the only card I'm really fussed about countering right now is Searing Blaze. Okay, the fact that he's killing my Snapcaster Mage, I don't know how that makes me feel. It makes it super unlikely he has Searing Blaze in hand. I guess I just dispel this, given that I have a Snapcaster on top. Like, he's gonna have to use another removal spell on my Snapcaster Mage if he wants to get in for damage, or he's gonna have to trade, which is unbelievable for me. Boros Charm to save your guy? Yeah, this game's going well for me, to put it mildly. Yeah, so my plan right here is to stop on his draw step and then Snapcaster Kolaghan's Command him, returning my other Snapcaster Mage. If he draws an instant, it's obviously kind of like not great, but if he draws it, if he's drawn either a creature or a sorcery, then obviously this is just amazing. So return target creature card from my graveyard to my hand. Target player discards a card. Maybe I want to no. I was gonna say maybe I want another Kolaghan's Command in this matchup, but I think that the way that this game has played out is pretty atypical. Alright, he's trying to land, which is fine, and it means that my Mana Leak is more likely to be live. And then now I'm just gonna get a card out of this Snapcaster. I don't think it's worth saving it for. I don't think it's worth saving it for Dispel. Just wanna get through my deck and just want to get through my deck. That's another Dragon's Claw, which is great. I think I'm just gonna hold off on playing it. I want to try to get value off of this Mana Leak if I can. Alright, that's fine. Like, I don't think this game is gonna come down to life totals. Alright, so I guess I'll Thought Scour myself first, because I have enough mana to do everything I want this turn regardless. Alright, so yeah, so I'm just going to play Dragon's Claw, bolt his guy. Auto yield to my Dragon's Claw's trigger. Dragon's Claw triggers. And then probably just attack with the 1. Like, even though, like, this game is not super likely to come down to life totals anymore, I think it's worth just being a bit conservative. And then, just again, gonna get a dual land, help operate my Tar Pit. Eliminate my Tar Pit. And send it in. Yeah, so this card has really impressed me. Just like the like I don't think you can play 2 of them. You certainly can't play 3, but like because drawing multiples is actually fairly awkward. But overall, like just like having the extra like spell in your deck when you're flooded is just so huge. Right, so this Mana Leak is unlikely to do anything anymore, but that's fine. I think between the 2 Dragon's Claws I have in play that turn like most of the cards in his deck to just like deal 1 damage, and the fact that my deck has so many good cards in it, I'm pretty optimistic about my chances this game. Yeah, so I'm just gonna animate Tar Pit and send it in. It's not a ton of reason to do anything else. Like I don't think like even given the fact that I've the Dragon's Claws in play, I don't think exchanging 2 damage for 2 damage is favorable for me. Am I gonna get value from my Mana Leak? That'd be exciting. I am. It feels like he's like played pretty aggressively around Mana Leak this whole game, so it's kind of odd that he just played into it there. But alright, so now I've drawn Murderous Cut, which alright, I guess I just leave up Terminate too. So now I'm gonna activate, yeah, so now I'm gonna activate Tar Pit with these 3 lands, and then I'll just attack with Terminate up. I don't really have any reason to leave Terminate up, but maybe it makes him think I have Mana Leak and do something strange to play around it. Or maybe he actually plays a creature and I want to kill it. I mean, it just costs me very little. The cards, I have so many cards in my graveyard and I have so many lands in play. Opponent Soldiering On. My creature's gonna die? Okay. Sad day. Yeah, I mean, eventually I'm gonna draw like a Tasigur or a Gurmag Angler, and that's probably gonna shut the door, but I guess in the meantime, we'll just keep attacking with the Snapcaster Mage. So now that no longer gets any lands. Which, alright. It's unfortunate, I suppose. Right? Yeah, I have all of my fetchable lands except for a basic island in play. I mean, I still think I'm overwhelmingly on. There's like very little chance I lose this game, but this whole ordeal of drawing millions of lands has obviously made things a great deal more difficult for me. All right, so my Snapcaster is dead. Okay. Alright, so this gets a basic island, so I guess I'll fetch that. So this is almost every land in my deck, right? This is every land in my deck that produces mana. Okay, I could conceivably lose this game. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be sad if that happens, but I guess there's not a lot I could have done about it if it does. Man. He still has to attack me a lot more times with this. I have a lot more draw steps. Any creature he draws is basically a dead card. I think I'm just going to mill him with this. I don't want to mill any of my threats. I don't think this game is going to come down to decking, but I also think it's best to just be safe. So I don't have anything great to get back with that. I think I'm probably just going to get back a Murderous Cut. So yeah, so I'll probably wait until his upkeep. No. That was a mistake. I don't think it'd be that bad of a mistake. I mean, he's already used 2 Boros Charms, right? I think this was probably bad, actually. But okay, it worked out. Yeah, I mean, these core Firewalkers have actually just been really good, which is maybe not super surprising, but well, it's surprising. It's maybe not that unexpected. Maybe I should have been. Maybe I should have like expected them to be better. Maybe I should have boarded in like an engineered explosives or something, just because it's not that bad of a hedge. But could have just tapped out for that, I guess. I'm certainly happy I have the Batterskull in my deck right now, because it means that this game, like, otherwise it might somehow conceivably come down to him killing every single one of my threats in my self-decking, but I don't think that's gonna happen in either case. But in the meantime, I'm at 15 life with 2 Dragon's Claws against a burn deck. My opponent is just soldiering forward. Alright, more Lightning Helixes. So 17 life. Rift Bolts, okay. So this has been a weird game against Burn. But I don't know. I'm having difficulty even like figure out how exactly this game like came to this point. I don't think my opponent should have done that. He should have waited for a turn. He wanted to cast multiple spells, like at least until his upkeep. But yeah. So these deal 1 damage to me? No, he's hoping to draw a burn spell. Well, did he get there? Got there. How lucky. Alright. Well, all my creatures are dead. Alright, so Gate is fine. Thought Scour is like, it's like fine to draw. It might as well just put it on the bottom. Yeah. Just play another one of these guys. So yeah, I think this is my worst matchup, so I got fairly lucky to win this game. That was, it was such a bizarre game. I have to look it over again later to figure out how exactly that happened. But yeah, I'll be back for the finals.